affects us, affects everyone, regardless of where you are in the world. So we have some fun stuff to share with you guys. I do get a little passionate. So please bear with me.
I might just start at the very beginning, Meaghan, now that we've just started recording, so that my team can just sort of get to know a little bit of the background. So I just wanted to introduce Meaghan today. It's an honor and a pleasure, and it's very exciting. And I love this women's energy. And so what you will find in today's session, that you will feel energized as a result of hearing what she has to tell you. You will also be informed about things that you might not know about. And that's always exciting, because I tend to find that when you're at the forefront of something, you'll still have a little bit of fear because it's so much of the unknown. But when you are at the forefront, you also get to have a lot of the benefits. And we are really, 2022, we're really standing on that bridge, I believe, between the analog world and the digital world. And Meaghan's offering and the way she is transforming lives is by being more, in that digital world, and encouraging and teaching people how to step easily from analog into digital. We're the last generation who's going to know the difference between these two worlds. So with that, Meaghan, I'm going to hand it over to you, and so that if you could just give people a little bit of a brief background into your background, because when I heard about where you started and where this came from, it was mind-blowing. You're 27 years old, and it's so inspiring when you hear about your past and what you've managed to achieve. I get goosebumps now just even sort of wanting to introduce you. It's just one of those moving stories. And, I work with women, and I want to inspire women, and I want to encourage women and empower them to stand in their own sovereign power. And today we have someone who is absolutely all of that. So welcome, Meaghan, if you want to let us know a little bit more about your background.
Hey guys, so my name is Meaghan Monroe. They call me Wealth Coach Monroe. Sometimes I'm sweet, sometimes I'm sassy, depending on what it is that we're talking about and how quickly you need to get on board. I started in the crypto space in 2017, but my story goes a little bit further back than that. Back in 2000, I don't even know, what year were you born, Spencer? 2014. I had a child, and I was leaving an abusive relationship, and I was living in a place, population 3,000. I lived in a trailer park, fresh out of foster care, was just figuring it out. And I had no support, no financial literacy whatsoever. I was working at a lumber mill, laying up plywood, and I excelled to the top of every job in that place. I'm a fast learner. I'm someone who, if I see something that needs to be done right, I'm just going to go do that thing. I'm not going to wait for someone to show me. I'm not going to wait, for someone to realize they're not doing their job correctly. I made some friends and some enemies because of this. But as I was watching, the systems of the mill and the way that they were creating inventory and where money was being lost, and I was a utility, so I did all kinds of skill jobs. I learned a lot about the people, the multi-generations that I was connected with. At the time, I was 19 years old. I was missing my baby every single day. I was so mad at my situation. I was so mad at God. I was like, God, you told me to be this faithful woman. You told me to do this. You told me to do that. And he'd always been there for me, even in foster care. So I felt like it was a time where he was silent to me. And what I learned is that the teacher's always silent during the test. And as I moved through getting sexually harassed by my foreman, getting laid off from my job, finding my first my way to make money on the internet, I quit my job. They literally called me, and they were going to lay me off for 3 days to figure out what was going on. I was terrified to report what was happening to me, because I didn't want to lose my job and lose the way that I was providing for my child. I had I was making $21 an hour. I had full benefits. I was 19 years old. I had no graduation from college or high school. I had to drop out of college when I had my baby. I really felt like all the odds were stacked against me, and I couldn't lose this job. And when I went in and they told me that, I was like, this is so unfair. Some older older lady had stood up for me. She had told the foreman what was going on, but they were going to suspend me for 3 days and let the foreman still work to figure out what was going on. And it was the most devastating experience of my life. And I realized in that moment, I can't rely on other people to protect me because I'm just a number to them. And so in that moment, when I went through the process of I had just started my first online, make your money online type thing. I had made $1,200. And I was like, you know, that kind of matches my 2 weekly paycheck. And I did that while I was nursing my child. And in the 3 days, you know, my milk production, I talk about this stuff. It's important to me, you guys. So I know this is not crypto related, but I want you to understand my conviction, because my milk production picked back up on the 3 days that I was home to my 6-month-old baby. And I remembered what it was like when he was brand new and I could sit there with him and I didn't miss any moments, and he was able to breastfeed all the time and he was getting bigger and stronger. And I wasn't missing those first. And when they called me back in the office, they offered me relief shift. And when they offered me relief shift, that's 1 day shift, 1 night shift, 2 swing shifts, and then some graveyard. There was no way I could afford daycare for this. And I literally looked at the first time I ever had a choice in my life. Okay, you guys, because I had chosen to make money online. The first time I ever had a choice in my life, when they said you can either be suspended permanently or you can take this shift. And I said, actually, I have another option and I choose to resign. Thank you for your time. And I walked out of there and I walked that half mile down to the parking lot for the first time, took my helmet off. I didn't care. They make you wear it till the end of the parking lot. And I knew in that moment that just like everything that had happened to me up until that point in my life, I had me in my corner. I didn't need some mentor. I didn't need, you know, I got the Bible, I got my spiritual, you know, things that I read, but I had no one. But I knew that I could count on me. And so when I walked away and walked into entrepreneurship, I took off like a rocket. It wasn't more than 1.5 years before I made my first 6 figures online. I transitioned into, I need my son. Sorry, my little baby got up and he was about to fight me. I got Spencer. That's what I got. He said, yup. I have Spencer. But my first income stream, it wasn't in my control. And so I woke up because I was wrongfully accused of, I found Forex trading. For those of you guys know, that's the biggest, don't know, that's the biggest financial institution on the planet. Okay. It's a form of trading. It's foreign currency. You know, you guys have the Australian dollar, I have the United States. It's a trade. There's an arbitrage between the cost between our currencies that people make money off of over and over again. It's not a multi-level marketing company. It has nothing to do with people, but they didn't agree with that. And so because I was trading Forex and talking about it on my public personal social media platforms, I was suspended from my 6-figure income overnight. And I woke up, and at the time I had no financial literacy. I was 22. All my money was shut in my back office. I couldn't cash out my $13,000 I had sitting there. And I had $500. And I said, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And at that point I had big trust issues, because first my job had did what it did. Right. And then I had just invested 2 years of my life. I wore this brand. I was everything about it. I poured myself out corporate call after corporate call, hours away from my child. Right. And they took it from me. And so in that moment, I realized I have to take not only my financial situation and learn financial literacy, but also where my income is coming from. And that's when I fell in love with the foreign exchange markets, and I fell in love with currency. And I learned not only technical analysis, which is how the markets move up and down, but I also learned the relation of the markets and the way that they breathe and stretch and grow and go up and down based off of fundamental analysis and technical analysis, which is what it relates to news and the government. My favorite thing to say when Trump was president was like, oh, Trump's talking today, I'm going to go catch me some pips, right? Because every time Trump talked, the market moved up and down. It was my favorite thing in the whole world. It was predictable, right? And so when we transitioned into, I shifted from realizing when I was in my hospital bed 2 years ago, when I first caught COVID in 2020, and I was fighting for my lungs because I have asthma, and I was fighting for my lungs for 4 months. And every time that I got in touch with a sickness, it would turn to pneumonia, double pneumonia, bam, I was back in the hospital. And I remember like I had been so introverted and so hurt by my life that I was like done talking to people. I didn't share. You could never believe, right, Taryn, with how I talk to people now. And I was laying there and I didn't beg God for my life. I didn't think I was worthy. I was like, you know what? It's been pretty great up until this point. I've done some amazing things. But the one thing that I couldn't let go of is that there was stuff in my mind that people that look like me and people that don't look like me needed to know. And I couldn't settle for giving up, regardless of the fact that I had no oxygen in my body. And so in that moment, when I laid back, that was the last thing I remember. I was like, God, I can't die. I didn't say, don't let me die. I said, I can't die because I got stuff I got to teach. Right. And so I woke back up from that a few days later. I started to heal. I started taking naturopathic medicines. I fought them for some ivermectin, and there's another one that they didn't want to give me, that hydroxychloroquine, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to threaten a lawsuit to the hospital to get those two. When they gave them to me, it snapped me back. And then I started taking spirulina and 3 other herbal supplementations at the time. And my body had the micronutrients that it needed to boost my immune system. And it did what God intended it to do. And I started getting better. And that was when I went home and I said, I'm never going back to the hospital. I'm going to let God heal my body because that's what he created it to do. And I started realizing where the world was going within inflation at this time, because while I was in the hospital, there was 2 different stimulus checks printed in the United States of America. I was watching the inflation charts go boop, 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 right? And I was like, something's got to give. And at that time, I had committed myself to my new organization, Wealthy Women Enterprises. I was like, I'm going to create this organization. I'm going to teach women all over the world financial literacy. But the one thing that I realized is that they are putting a death penalty on the fiat currency system. United States dollar, Australian dollar, all the dollars that we see, all the currencies, the pounds that we see, they are putting a death toll on these things. And so I realized, okay, I'm going to go catch my people up, right? I'm indigenous. I'm African-American. I have Brazilian. I'm Scottish Irish. I've got a little bit of Norwegian in me. We're Vikings on one side of my family. Okay. My bloodline touches this entire planet. And I have a deep conviction in me that, if my bloodline touches this entire planet, then I have a responsibility to educate people all over the world. And slowly God began to bring me the world leaders, and God began to bring me sovereign chiefs, and God began to give me divine wisdom in the access of people. And what I realized is that I couldn't just teach financial literacy to little Black girls, little mixed girls like me. I couldn't do that. Because if I was teaching them financial literacy in a system that wasn't going to be here in 3, 5, 10 years, and we can see the transition. If you guys join our crypto community that Taryn will probably share with you, you'll see the updates on all the governmental structures that are shifting to a digital currency. Why? Because their fiat system is done. They've printed all the money they can print. They've watered down all the currencies that they can do, and it's going away. And I can show you proof after proof after proof. I work with these leaders of these countries. It's not like I'm just saying this without my area of expertise. And so when I decided to shift into the season that we're in right now, that brought me Taryn, that brought me Diane, and all the wonderful people in our life, it was because for the last 12 months, me and my husband have worked diligently into creating new systemic places for us to decentralized but congregate together. Because that's the thing, is like in the United States of America, they have us stuck in little tiny boxes. There's our houses, right? One family in one house. It's your mom, your dad, 3 kids, and then those kids go off to college and you've got some empty nesters. We were never meant to live that way. We were never meant to be separate from each other without resources. And I'm watching a economy of people who are fragmented, so they're easy to influence. When was the last time that you saw a collective work together, right? When was the last time that you saw a family that wasn't broken up? And I mean, I have probably 400 to 600 living relatives right now. And are we working together as a bank? No, most people don't know that you are what backs your country's currency. When you were born, there's a birth bond issued in your name, and they are printing all of the money, not printing, they are minting new money to accommodate you as a beneficiary of the trust, which is your country. Your country, Australia, my country, United States of America. You can go to Duns and Bradstreet in America. You can look up United States of America and you can see their corporation number. It's called an EIN here. And people don't realize this. So when it came to cryptocurrency, and I'm sorry, Taryn, I'll lighten it up a little bit. When it comes
I love passion. So this is right up my alley.
Yay. Okay. I'm like, I don't want to get in trouble. I know she's so sweet. She always receives all energies, and she's grateful for the extension of the expression of a being. So I love that about you. Your heart is so pure. You guys, what I'm trying to tell you is that this illusion is finally coming apart. And the best bet that we have as the collective, as the people that make all this work, the only reason they got away with their pandemic, the only reason they got away with making us sick is because we agreed to it. And I know that may sound crazy, but no, we didn't have control. Yes, we did. We have control over our wellness. It wouldn't have affected us this way if we had not been healthy. It wouldn't have affected us this way if we had insight to what was going on. We didn't know how to protect ourselves, so we relied on them, and look what they did. And now are we going to, and we watched what they created with the last system, where they're leveraging you. You are worth $7 million to your crown, or to your president, or to whoever that runs your country. $7 million each at this point. Okay. And if you guys don't understand that if there's $7 million someone else is leveraging, why are you not a $7 million heir? Why don't you have your millions? You can, but you don't know how to take yourself back to sovereignty. And so we started with this little crypto bot. And I mean, we're working with multiple government agencies right now. We are, me and my husband are trustees on the bank Kotipiki o Aotearoa. We work with the Maori Nation out of New Zealand. And that's who I am. That's my family. And we do these products with them that are taking us and shifting us into a new state of not only financial literacy, because the old resources did work, but they had the wrong people at the top leveraging how the system moved. And God showed me a vision, and it was, as the institutions try to clean their money with cryptocurrency and they're printing the money, they put it into Bitcoin to stabilize it, because Bitcoin is an agreement. It's an agreement of everyone in the world at the same time. It's the collective consciousness at the same time saying, I agree with this value. So when you take a dying dollar out of a country suffering from inflation and you put it into Bitcoin, it gives it a solidified value, versus in the United States of America, where it's depreciating at 5% per month. And Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is an appreciating asset. It grows in value every day. Okay. And if it decides to breathe a little bit and stretch itself out, we're in there catching trades, both directions. Okay. So, and that's why we have our bot. But when it comes to, trying to facilitate mass adoption and shifting nations all at the same time into a higher frequency of understanding that they are sovereign beings, that they need to control where their funds go, that they need to take more responsibility about their family's financial future, right? How do you do that when people are like, I have no choices, right? Remember what I told you? For the first time, once I made money online, I finally had the right for a decision. Because up until that point, I was in survival mode. Up until that point, Mark, I need water. Up until that point, I didn't have any resources. I didn't have any instruction. But in that moment, when I made that extra $1,200, I had the opportunity to make a different decision. And so when it comes to this crypto bot, this is the very first step. I don't care what financial situation you're in. I don't care what scenario you have to go through to get in while the discount is available. If you're in a place and position of going and collecting cans from your neighbor, you need to do that for yourself. Because let me tell you something, you have to be solvent before you can be sovereign. Before you can take back your ownership, you have to bring value to your person. And so many of us are stuck on the hamster wheel of debt because we all grew up in debt economies. We were told to live in an illusion. We were told to look beautiful, pay for plastic surgery, transition our bodies if it's not perfect, wear waist trainers and things to shape us and mold us and to look a certain way. We have to have etiquette and behavior and professionalism and straight hair. You know what? I was going to straighten my hair, but I was like, hey, I'm a rebel. Let's get the afro out, right? Because they told me this was unprofessional. They don't know what professional is. You want to know why, honey? Because I'm the one building your next season of professionalism. And it's going to look a lot like freedom and bare feet and running in the grass and fresh fruits and vegetables that are not tainted with poison. Because we have to understand that if we are going to live the life that we dream, we can't expect anyone else to do that for us.
Spring water.
And spring water. Okay. Not purified water, not distilled water, spring water. You can use a water machine though. But hold on. I'm actually going to leave this right here because I talk a lot. But what I want you guys to understand is I am no one to be in the place and position that I am, but I'm perceptive and I'm a seer and I see many timelines. I don't just see this one, and I have clarity. I'm not confused. I'm at peace in my heart. I'm not afraid, but I need you to understand that in this season, it's about you taking steps on your own. It's about you being willing to open up your mind and think a different thought than the one that you were told and taught to think. If you grew up in public school, then you weren't taught to be a critical thinker. You were taught to be a good answerer. You were taught to memorize and repeat. You were taught to uphold their trust, when the new covenant is to uphold God's creation, not to uphold their trust. So if you're in alignment with working for the man, for over here we call Uncle Sam, right? We're sitting here grinding every day for $1. We get 100,000, they take 40%. If I work for 100,000 in the blockchain space, ain't nobody taking $40,000 from me. Oh, heck no. That's not how it works here, because my money is sovereign here. What you have to understand is most people don't understand what real money is. That's why they were so easily confused with these systems that they created, because they think that real money is debt notes, dollar bills that we spend at the store for candy bars. That's not real money. That's debt. I'm so sorry. You told me to just tell my story, but I got to hear somehow.
I think that the important part here, Meaghan, is that as people are listening to your story, they're also feeling your passion, and they're being affected by your energy. And, you cannot possibly sit here and feel unmoved when you start talking and telling people the truth. And I love being a truth teller, but you're nailing this at 1,010%. So this is just wonderful. So a lot of the community here, may not have ever had anything to do with the crypto space. And so when you don't know something, there's a little bit of fear inside of there. So what you have done is that from what I understand, because I'm fairly new in this space as well, is that you've developed a bot, which means that this will trade for you and on your behalf, but you own that bot. It's not a third party who then has your money. Is that correct?
Yeah. So the power of the platform, and the only reason that, I'm associated with it, and the people who founded this contract, which is completely decentralized, has nothing to do with the company. There's no owner, there's nobody who can take anything from you. It's just completely decentralized. It's a group of people who give to contribute to the community. And as we all give to it, it grows and grows exponentially, like this call. And so with our bot, you do not put or send your money to anyone. You set up your own exchange wallet. You send in your API key, which is just like, I don't know if any of you have a website, but for me and my website, I had to program PayPal's API key in so they could access and do my pay portal, right, for me. Just like that, the bot needs an API key so that it knows, hey, I'm attached to you forever. And then when you put your funds in, the bot will register that you have funds in your account, and it will trade off 50% of your account. It does not trade off the full amount. It stays at a very low leverage. So for every $100 that you have, your risk is 50 cents for every $100. It's extremely low. It's so safe. And the thing that I love about it the most is, like, I went through a year of patience, of blown accounts. Blown accounts is when you literally over leverage yourself because you don't know how to use stop losses and things like that because you're ignorant and brand new in the market, and then you're blowing through 100,000. Sometimes you blow more than that. I'm not going to talk about it. But with a bot like this, it doesn't have my emotions. It doesn't have my screaming child who accidentally posts the yeah, you know what I mean? And so the bot, it's going in, it's grabbing $10 at a time, $5 at a time, $30 at a time, or it's riding out a $150 trade, and it's not getting greedy saying, oh, I need more, I need more. It's getting out that trade, right? And it's not in a place where it's afraid to enter the market because it's told to reach. See, the thing about the collective consciousness, okay, because that's what the markets are, is it's very much predictable. You can see where people have agreements and disagreements, just like you can in real life. It's very loud and proud and potent. But sometimes when you have your own opinion, you're not registering what's going on in front of you, right? It's the same thing with the markets. And so when you have an automatic trading software that not only has preset, terms and conditions that it follows, but it also has processes inside of it that it learns different patterns and it learns different frequencies in the market, which we'll talk about when you guys come on the other side and learn. We're going to be running through that the next 8 weeks. So you guys will learn a lot about the markets, even though you don't have to know. But the bot takes the responsibility of you having any risk with your account, but it also takes the accountability of being an emotionless being, which is powerful because some of us are in some of the most stressful situations of our life right now. I know us personally, we are. My dad just got out of the hospital this morning. And that's so scary. He has like a tube up his nose right now because it still hasn't stopped bleeding. Blood pressure 200 over 143. That's insane. They said that if he hadn't been taking his aspirin every day for his migraines that he's had for the last 4 days, he probably would have had a stroke because his blood would have been clotting, and it wasn't because of that. So I want you guys to understand that I'm excited because while I'm going through all that, not only am I getting instant crypto payments from our platform, but I'm also got this bot working for me in the background. And I know that if I have to take a day or 4 off, it's not me missing out on half my rent payment, right? Something's working on my behalf. And I want you guys to understand that, you know, just like the Bible, God says, I know the plans that I have for you. It's like, if you have something working for you on your behalf, you can sleep better, okay? You don't panic so much when your kid needs new shoes. My child is 7 years old and he's the size of a freaking 11-year-old. I am 6 foot tall, okay? I'm 27 years old, I'm 6 foot tall. My child is bigger than most 11-year-olds, and he is expensive to dress and feed, okay? So regardless of how much money I make, he's expensive, okay? And I want you guys to understand that with resources like this bot, you have the opportunity to create a foundation of solvency for yourself. Any spare change that you can put away. We've seen days as high as 9% so far, and the bot's is operating at 50% during beta testing as we're slowly moving people into the system. So I want you guys to think about that. If you had, you know, $2,000 sitting in your bank account on your payday, that's going to appreciate 2 to 9% per day. That's a lot of money, and it compounds on top of each other. Compounding means that if you have an account that was at 1,000 and it made 2% that day, it's up. Is that $20, babe? I always do this. I get myself in math positions and then I just not. So what's 2% of 1,000? Is that $2 or $20? $2 is, yeah, so it's $20. I went there. I got there, guys. I got there. So $20, right? It's up $20 that day. The next day it's going to be trading on $1,020. And then it'll keep adding up to itself. And people are like, how is it getting these insane results? Compounding. It's not a human being like you and me going and taking that money out the minute that it deposits because you want to go buy some new shoes, okay? And so this is a little bit about how the system works, and it's a resource for you. And it's a resource that you can share with your family and friends. And for me personally, I tell everybody this all the time. I put it on my mama. She was the first person I signed up for this bot because I know when I need something, I can call my mom. But who upholds my mom? Not her mom, not her brothers and sisters. My dad does, right? And my dad just went to the hospital last night. Reality check, right? So I had to check in with my family, and I've got my cousins, my sisters, my mom. And this isn't a recruitment thing. It's a solidifying my future thing. Because I know that if their money's working for them, my money's working for me, that we are a family, we can rely on each other a little bit easier than before when I'm still trading my time for money. Now we're trading our money for money.
So Meaghan, one of the things that really appealed to me, I know that when it launches on the 1st of April, it then becomes a lot more expensive. But one of the things that really appealed to me is that in this time frame leading up to the 1st of April is that to get in and do the bot is actually really achievable. I know that us here in Australia, we've got to pay the exchange rate for it to be bought in US dollars. So that's, you know, not as favorable to us, but like, you know, all you have to do is get in at level 2 to be able to access this bot for $75. Whereas, you know, once it gets the 1st of April, you know, within the organization, you'd have to be at level 5, which would cost $850 US, and then the bot will be $150. So, you know, there's an opportunity for people to come in without it really being too painful, and then being able to see the benefits of it quite rapidly thereafter. Is that correct?
Absolutely. And that's kind of why we've been a little bit more bold in our communication, because one, I need you to know the truth. And second, I need you to know how easy it is to access it, right? And right now you can get in for $110 US, that's the access, and then 75 for the bot. And when you do that, you've given yourself what we call a cash flowing asset. So many people, they invest in liabilities. They invest in cars that depreciate in value. They buy homes that in the market, we're at a high. So if you bought a home this year, it's going to depreciate for a little while before it climbs back up again. You know, we spend money on junk food and such. And some of you guys could not take your family of 5 to a restaurant 2 times this week and pay for your bot. And you could sit there and put money that you may spend on candy bars or, you know, a trip that you don't need to take, and put it in there and start something that's for your family. And it doesn't have to be, you know, some big thing right now. Put $200 in there, set it and forget it. When you get another opportunity to add 50, add 50, add 100 more. You know what I mean? Don't worry about not having a giant account to start with. Just get started. I really think that if you understand that unless you have given yourself something that is working for you, you will continue to die for money. People need to understand that. And when you understand that, you can give yourself, my girl Ashanti's on here, and I always do this to her, but let me tell you something. I'm in love with this woman. She has a baby and this Papa, and we love Papa so much, but I know that every time I call up Ashanti and I'm like, Ashanti, you have to do this thing, I know that I'm helping Papa get the future that he deserves, okay? Because she's a single mom working her butt off every day. She doesn't sleep a lot of the time. But if she has resources like this that are working for her on her behalf, Papa, who's the cutest little baby in the whole world, is gonna have a great future, regardless of what she can and cannot contribute that are out of her control. And so it's just like, take a different thought process. You know, don't worry about what's the risk in it. There's hardly any risk. The risk is not taking the chance to take advantage of an opportunity that's going away in 5 days.
So the other thing that I was going to ask Meaghan is that the other thing I was going to ask families all around on a Saturday morning is that if you don't have money to put into the bot straight away and that's stopping you, just know that you can get into level 1 and purchase the bot. Yeah. And then as you get money, then you can start feeding it into the bot. Just take advantage of this before it gets out of price range or reach for you. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We've been telling people that have a yard sale. You know what I mean? Like, go get yourself in while you can. If you have another payday in 2 weeks, you've still got 15 days to leverage the bot at the discounted price, right? And so you can get in there, get started, get yourself in during the promo, and then next payday, put that money into work for you, right? And then, you know, you can do what I've got to do, which is go sell all Spencer's 7, 8, and 9-year-old clothes, even though he's only 7 right now, so that we can get him more 12-year-old clothes, okay? So you guys, this is the last day is the 31st. I don't know if it ends on the 31st because we have the 31st as the date, right? So I don't know if it'll be accessible on the 31st or if it ends the night of the 30th and the 31st is the last day. So I would just make sure that you get in before that date, before the 31st itself, just to make sure you don't miss out on that. So 5 days.
Yeah, and so I know that for someone who hasn't been in the crypto space before, one of the issues that people will run into is leaving it too late and then trying to set up all these different things, but you need identification, and some of this identification takes 24 hours to process. So, you know, this is what, you know, and I think that what happens is like when something takes a little bit of time, because we're so new to the process, we get scared and we start thinking, oh no, this isn't meant to be for me. And then you've got to go back in and just sort of trust the process and go, you know, what's meant to be for me will arrive. And so, yeah, if you're sort of kind of wondering how to do this, without putting a time pressure on things, for you to get your ID ticked off on some of these platforms, we don't have a lot of time if you're wanting to take advantage of it.
Yeah, and that's huge too. We were delayed in getting into the bot because we were signing up through our Brazil identification, and literally like it took almost half the time that we were in beta testing to get our KYC approved with the platform. So make sure that you guys you know, are reaching out to Taryn or whoever invited you to this and getting yourself plugged in properly with those platforms now. Even if you're still wishy-washy about getting started, just start with the apps, right, that are necessary, and then you can go and dig through the information. I've spent hours and hours of time trying to make it as clear as possible for all my beautiful personality types. Some days I decide to be in action, some days I'm a nurture, sometimes I'm a green, sometimes I'm a yellow. It just depends on how I'm feeling and if I've been fed for the day. So I understand that we all have different, you know, ways that we absorb information. We have a giant community of people who are constantly available to answer questions. I mean, we have the best team I have ever worked with ever. And then there are some questions, Taryn, if you don't mind, in the chat right now. So we have a question from Nicole Johns. The last date, like I said, is the 31st. What platform is it running on? So the bot is currently trading on Binance, and the bot will be available on alternate exchanges on April 7th. So right now, for those of you guys who are, you know, international, you can get Binance pretty easily. And then for us in the United States, we have 2 states that are restricted, which is why we've been testing on alternate exchanges. And then ultimately, Mark and my exchange/wallet app that we're going to be using for onboarding an LXP over the next, you know, few weeks will be ready, and the bot will be trading on our exchange as well. So that's super exciting for us and the company. Well, the platform, not company. Is there a referral bonus if you sign others up? So there is a referral, like it's kind of like a Costco membership or like a credit card platform. Like if you refer somebody to your Black Card, you do get a bonus when they sign up, right? And it's an invite only platform because it's a private luxury community. Just like we told you, this bot would normally cost $1,000 to get on board. It's a high level product. So yes, you do make a direct payment off of, you earn a direct instant payment off of someone that you sign up for the bot that's direct to you, but it's not a multi-level marketing company. If Ashante signs somebody up today, I might get hit with the payment just because it floats around the matrix, but it's not directly coming to me as the person who brought her on the platform. Okay. So it's not a multi-level marketing company, but there are referral bonuses when you do sign people up. If it's decentralized, go ahead.
I just want to add in the way, because you know, the analogy that I look at this is that, you know, you come in and you can purchase different levels. And that is one aspect of what Meaghan's talking about. But the other aspect is the bot. So, and the way I sort of see it is the bot is kind of like us going out for dinner and ordering a main meal. We're all there because we're hungry and we want to eat our main meal. We're starving. But then you know, you don't go to a restaurant afterwards, you know, there's always a menu. And on the menu, there is an option which invites you to have dessert. Now, sometimes some people are just not dessert people. They're never going to eat dessert. They don't have a sweet tooth at all. But there's some people who are interested in dessert. And if you're interested in dessert, then you've got the option to share this affiliate link. And when you share that affiliate link, it's like, so you don't have to do it, but when you share that affiliate link, it's kind of like that mouthful of sweetness. So, you know, you're sort of feeding up on a little bit of sweetness, and you get the opportunity to have a little bit of money that goes into your account that you can then reinvest into that bot. So that is kind of my interpretation of what it looks like. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Meaghan? Yeah.
No, that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. We have one amazing Maori woman. Her name is Poiha Ere, and she's almost 70. She's 69 right now. And she's made $382 just signing up her friends, and she's wanted them to have the bot. That's it. She's just like, I just want you to have this bot. And so she didn't realize that she was going to earn while she was doing that. And she, you know, as a woman that has disability, she has not only use on one side of her body, right? She is literally in a chair every day. To be able to just earn $380 out of nowhere that she can then go put in the bot, she was stoked, right? And so we're having so much fun. We have all generations on here. We have a 16-year-old, we have people all the way up to 76. And it's so fun. And it's just like you said, there's people that are going to want to take advantage of everything in the platform, which there's so much. There's training courses on NFTs, cryptocurrency, blockchain, how you can incorporate it with your business. We have so many things that are in there, but we're focusing on this one product because for most people, it's not reachable after the end of the month. It won't be available after the end of the month to most people because $800 in US, which I think is like $1,300 for you guys, that's a lot of money. And
I also think that, you know, if you are risk averse, you are more likely to come in now when it's a very small amount of money that you are kind of playing with. So, you know, like if you are risk averse, this is going to be the least risky option for you to just jump into the space, to have the bot trade on your behalf so you're not running the risk of losing. And then within the LXP platform, you know, each of those levels unlocks further information for you to then learn more about the space. But it's probably the safest way to get into crypto without taking a huge risk. I know that I jumped in at level 2, and that was like, what was it, $110 US plus $75 for the bot. And I referred to, I put the link out, and when someone signed up with it as well, I got paid $22 into that account for me to then put into the bot. And I'm like, I didn't even know that that was going to happen. I had no idea. And I'm like, I was shocked and surprised, because I feel quite uncomfortable with, multi-level marketing stuff. And yet this isn't, it's just a referral base. I shared a link and I got $22 to now put into crypto towards, what my bot can trade. So, that was a nice surprise. So yeah, the level 2 is the easiest, quickest access if you can't afford anything else.
Yep, I agree 100%. We do have a question in the comments from Diane, and she says, can we draw money out if we need it? And does it get transferred to our bank? So the most powerful thing about the specific situation with this trading bot, it's the only trading bot in the market that not only gives you this high of a return, but is also what we like to say custodial. For those of you guys who can find the chat, I want you to write custodial in the chat so you understand what the gravity of what I'm saying, okay? Custodial means that you have ownership of the bot. It's on your exchange wallet. It's not you sending your money to some random stranger on the internet who promises you a result. It's you saying, I have this bot on my account, and when I wish, I would like my money to grow today. I'm going to move my cryptocurrency. We put USDT in the bot. We'll talk more about this later, right? But you just put it in the bot's account, and the bot goes and plays with it. That's what its job is, okay? And so you can pull out that money at any time, because there's nobody there telling you you can or cannot, okay? And if you remove the money, the bot just stops trading because it has nothing to leverage. Now, when it comes to removing the funds to the bank, we have two different things with the Australians. Taryn, I'm gonna be a little spicy for a second, please excuse me. With our Australian friends, we're doing all that we can to help you guys not have to be in Australian banks right now. Some of you guys may know why, and some of you guys may not have the reality of that yet, but a lot of our friends' banking systems are getting shut down. A lot of them don't have access to ATMs in their area. And so we have an international bank that we refer people to that's both crypto and fiat. And that bank is what we choose to show people how to cash out with. You just transfer the cryptocurrency to the bank, you swap it to fiat, and you have a debit card, you can go shopping. Okay, it's literally just like that. And it's also not an income producing platform, so it doesn't report to whoever you guys pay taxes to or whatever. It's just a bank account, right? And then the other way is to just, you guys can swap it to fiat currency in your platform, and then you can do a bank transfer back into your personal accounts that you already have. But for us, we do have some friends who have dealt with their accounts shutting down in both Australia and New Zealand. And so we've been working diligently to find solutions for those people so that they don't deal with losing access to their wealth. And that's something we don't condone or agree with. So sorry for getting spicy, but we do have two different options for that.
I would like some more information about that other bank, Meaghan, down the track. I'm very interested in how that all works. If we go back to some questions, just going to scroll up. Is there any more questions that people had?
I'm looking.
I know that we haven't covered everything because there's still so much more to talk about. But if there's something, okay, someone's asked about a referral bonus.
I did answer that.
Oh, that's the other thing, is that when I know that you're using BNB instead of ETH, because ETH became like a traffic jam. And if you imagine all these cars sitting in a traffic jam and they're just producing heaps and heaps of congestion, and the gas fees were high. So that is what you changed the MetaMask value over to. Is that correct?
Yeah, so we use the Binance Smart Chain instead of Ethereum because of what she's talking about, gas fees. Okay, we all see these gas prices rising and we don't agree with them. Well, Ethereum's the same way. Okay, so we're hanging out on the Binance Smart Chain. It's BNB. There is a question in here that goes along with this. So if you do have your funds in CoinSpot right now, I know a lot of Australians are further ahead than the rest of the world when it comes to crypto. I don't think I've met an Australian besides maybe one or two that don't own crypto already. So if you do have some in CoinSpot, yes, you can transfer that into this platform, and we'll teach you how to swap it. How do we get access to the bot, how do we get access to the bot to be able to add funds to it directly? So the bot is being added directly to your Binance account. So all you will do is follow the instructions in our team page once you're plugged in, to be able to set that up. And then you'll fund your account. You'll do what we call whitelist. And when the bot goes live on the 1st, you will be added to it in the order that you whitelist. So there's another perk for getting in quicker is that you'll be higher up on the list and you'll get access faster, because the dev does go in. Dev is the development team. They do go into the back end of your system and program the bot on directly to your exchange wallet. And so you have to, once you're whitelisted, which means you're in line to get it set up for you, it'll be put on in the order that you're on. And I think we're almost over 100 people whitelisted right now, and I haven't got it out to the whole team yet. Okay. So I'm just waiting since you get paid to get on level 4. Amazing. Yep. Yeah, you are. Sorry, I was just responding to Nicole. So yeah, is there any other questions, my darlings?
Okay, so can I ask, so Meaghan, if people have CoinSpot, that's one way for them to fund it. Then they need to set up a MetaMask wallet, and they need to then also set up Binance. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. So if you have CoinSpot, that's a way for you to purchase, buy, and sell cryptocurrency. And you guys will then sell, or you'll buy BNB in CoinSpot, or you can swap your current cryptocurrency to BNB and you'll send that to MetaMask. And that will be how you get your levels and how you purchase your bot.
Okay. So, so for people who've never heard of these things, MetaMask is a hot wallet. Is that correct?
Sorry, say that again. My child is distracting me.
So that's okay. So MetaMask is a wallet.
Yes, MetaMask is a wallet. And it's a very, very safe wallet. MetaMask is one of the most highly used Ethereum wallets in the world.
So a wallet means it's just holding and storing stuff. Then Binance is an exchange.
It's a wallet and exchange.
It's a wallet and an exchange. So CoinSpot is just an exchange. Is that correct? MetaMask is a wallet, and Binance is an exchange and a wallet. So those are the 3 things that if you're trying to get money in the cheapest way into MetaMask, I had CoinSpot and the fees were lower to transfer that. Is there anything else? I think sometimes when you move along and you kind of understand the next stage, you forget how difficult that very first step was. And what I would sort of say to you is that if you are interested in knowing more, or you want to be a step through the process, can you just pop a number 1 in the chat, and I can open up a conversation with you later today and bring on some team members to step us through what happens next in terms of supporting you through all the technology side of it. There's different ways of understanding how to do this. We can send like a video which shows you, because some of us are visual learners, and so you can sort of an auditory, so you can watch the video. Else there's instructions that are written out where you can just follow it by a step-by-step process. So if that's kind of where we're at, do we press submit after filling out the LXP bot form?
If you guys are on our team already, you can ask that question in the chat. Go ask that question in the chat. If there's any technical information that I need to answer for you, you guys have got the team chat and we'll get you straightened out there.
Yeah. So it's if you're brand new to the process, I know that the person that sort of signed on, they're able to do it really quickly. And I was like, how did they do it that quickly? I think when I was trying to sign on with Meaghan, I took about 2 weeks because I had fear coming in. And then I put the brakes on it. And then I'm like, I can't touch this because I need to manage the fear and the anxiety of what if I'm making a mistake? What if this, because my son lost 12K to a crypto scam. My mum's lost money to a crypto scam, another friend. And so you're really sitting in the space of going, what if this is a scam? And, so I just kept going back, meditated on it. So I'm just asking that, step forward in faith after you've meditated or prayed on it, whatever is your faith, so that you are operating from a space of doing this for your highest good. So you know that you are doing this from a space and an intention that you're no longer sort of being held back in this lifetime by unseen chains. So
Yeah,
with
that's the biggest thing, is that they've trained us to, when I mean they, I mean societies, the people that run society, they've trained us to be afraid to free think. And they also make us seem skeptical of things that can give us financial resources like this and trading at this high of a ROI. But it's because they're taking our money, trading at this high of ROI, and only giving us access to a percentage of what it is that we should be earning off of the same things that we're introducing to you now. And so that's the power of a decentralized platform, is a decentralized platform puts the power into the people's hands, and it takes it away from the people who think that they need to control us and to tell us how we're supposed to live, the quality of life that we can have. I'm sorry, but I'm limitless. I'm sovereign. The only person that exists over me is the creator. And that means that I, as someone who is created in the image of the creator, is someone who can expand exponentially forever and ever. And I don't ever need to be limited or told that I deserve to live without below any sort of means. And with resources like this, it's saving my life. My health is my wealth. And so I'm so excited for the season of rest that we're about to enter into as a collective, Taryn, because for me personally, I need to heal. And that anxiety and that fear that you're talking about has been ebbing away from me very quickly since we got access to this. So thank you so much for your time here. I appreciate you. This call was absolutely beautiful. And I'm so grateful for all you amazing people who joined us today. And we just want to say thank you for that.
Fabulous. So ending on that note, huge gratitude to Meaghan coming at us from the other side of the world, sharing her expertise, her information and her insights, and most of all her story, which really connects to the heart space. What Meaghan doesn't know is that I'm always looking for signs from the universe. And incidentally, she has a son called Spencer, and so do I. So, it's almost like a tap on the shoulder from the universe, just that acknowledgement and that recognition that you're on the right track. There's another synchronicity. And yeah, so it was really funny because my son sort of walked past and you were talking about your son, Spencer, and he's like, he had no idea. He's done the head turn, like, what am I being spoken about on this platform? But leaving it there at that, please, if you're wanting more information, send me a personal message within Messenger. If you're wanting a little bit of extra support, Christine, you're on the call. If you can just take down people's names who have put a number 1 in the comments. I'm just going to cough.
I texted them all to you. I was over on Facebook sending them.
Super. So wonderful. Thank you so much. Big gratitude to you all for spending your Saturday morning with me. I hope you have a truly glorious and wonderful day. And even if you choose not to proceed now, may this phone call have opened up a new way of thinking, a new way of seeing, and a new way of understanding that we have the potential to hold sovereign power within our own being. And, if you ever are needing a little bit more support, that Meaghan's out there. She has a whole community. She's incredibly powerful and passionate within that community. And if you felt her energy today, you will feel inspired and activated to take that step forward so that you can actually have a little bit more control in your life. We're going to finish on that note. Love to you all. And thank you so much for joining this Saturday. I'm going to stop recording now.
Yay.
Oh.
Well, you got my yay in there.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm just, every time I do this, I'm like, where am I? Stop recording.